Hi, I'm using NextBrain AI for marketing. Since it's based on plugins, once the Marketing Mix Modeling plugin is activated, we can start. Let's go to the Workspaces section. I see several folders in front of me. I'm going to enter the Startup folder, which is a workspace I just created. The first step is to upload your data. Let's see how we can do it. Once inside, I'll create a model to train it. Here I'll upload the data I have for my startup. I have this data, divided by weeks, spanning 2.5 years. We can see that our startup has a cost for Google Ads, a cost for Facebook, a cost for LinkedIn, and some registrations. Those are my columns. So let's see, based on our investment, if we're doing well or not, and where we should invest our next dollar. This is a well-known problem called marketing mix modeling. Therefore, let's create the model. Once created, we have all the weeks here. We can see that there are quite a few weeks up to week 130, which is about 2.5 years. And here we have the columns for the cost of Google Ads, Facebook Ads, and LinkedIn Ads, as well as the registrations, which is our target, what we want to increase. It's time to take our data to the next level, model training. So I'm going to go ahead and train my model, and what I want to predict are the future registrations. This is a well-known problem in marketing mix modeling. I could select extra features, but in this case, I don't have any additional columns. The time column is by week, and I could ignore some columns, but in this case, I don't have any to ignore. Perfect. Here, we already have the data from my model. The trained model has identified 3 marketing channels: LinkedIn ads, Facebook ads, and Google ads. It's showing us the total of my media mix. We can also see it in percentages. We're spending 69% on Google ads, 27% on LinkedIn, and 3% on Facebook, based on the data I uploaded. We can also see that the model's accuracy is 87%, which is quite accurate, with a 13% error. Here we can see how the model has adjusted to the actual data within the margin of error and what it has predicted. We have nearly 3 years here: the first year, the second year, and the third year. In the next step, we're going to dive into our data. Now, let's move on to the insights of the model. In this first part, we'll see how the model learns the current situation and how we could improve it with a good investment. Additionally, we can observe the weekly effects of each channel, determining which one has the greatest impact. We can also find the baseline, which represents the contribution of non-marketing factors to our records, although we do not know their specific origins based on the data we have uploaded. We can also see the average contribution of each channel. Let's see that LinkedIn contributes significantly more, despite currently having a much lower investment. One of the most important graphs generated by this model is the lag and carryover graph. It explains that for our campaigns, it takes between 1 to 2 weeks to achieve the best results, after which the outcomes start to decline. Another graph produced by the model is the ad-to-consumer response, which occurs when we spend more than the results we obtained from our records. We can observe numerous peaks in this graph, and it would be worthwhile to examine the instances when the red line is above the area to identify the marketing campaigns conducted during those weeks and replicate their strategies. This graph also provides insight into the lag effect, as the red line representing the records is positioned further to the right, indicating a delay of 1 to 2 weeks from when we began investing in that campaign. Another graph we generate depicts the contribution of non-marketing factors, such as seasonality. By analyzing 3 years of data, it becomes evident that the campaign performs much better at the beginning and end of the year compared to the intervening months. Moreover, we can observe a very positive trend in our startup. Lastly, the model generates a graph showing the shape effect, or diminishing returns. It informs us about the point at which further investment in each channel will yield diminishing profitability. In other words, it indicates that although there will still be positive outcomes, there will be a saturation point where the results will not be as impressive as before. In this case, we observe that LinkedIn, for example, delivers similar results to Google despite a significantly lower investment. Regarding the current scenario we have previously examined, we can see how it has been optimized, suggesting a reverse allocation of investments. If we had followed this approach, instead of achieving an ROI of 0.01 as predicted by our model based on current data, we would have reached 0.09, which is considerably higher. Similarly, in terms of outcomes and records, instead of 3,700, we would have had 22,500, a significant improvement. Now that we know the current scenario, let's see how to improve my ROI from now on by going to the planning section. Here, we have a very interesting planning tool where we can decide whether to predict based on budget or outcome. In this case, let's set a target budget for the upcoming period of 4 weeks. Let's say $10,000. We're going to predict how to allocate our money and in what way. We can see that the model has planned the next month for us based on our budget. It's telling us to expect these results, a total of 734 more registrations than what we currently have, with a 95% confidence level and an average ROI of 0.07, increasing our current ROI by 7 points. Here it provides us with a little bit of strategy, telling us what we need to do. For example, it's saying that in the upcoming month, we should forget about Google ads and go all in with LinkedIn ads. Further down, it advises us not to spend more than $3,000 because we already know that going beyond that threshold will result in diminishing returns until reaching the saturation point. Therefore, in this graph, we can see the time allocation, which shows how we should invest each dollar. The model suggests investing around $3,300 in the first, second, and third weeks, and not investing anything in the fourth week. This way, we can expect better results during the next month thanks to marketing mix modeling.